So today's video is going to be a bit different than I usually do videos. I'm not going to be playing a game. I'm going to be discussing Third Sacrifice related news. And if you don't know, for the past couple of months or for the past month or two, I've been posting videos on Third Sacrifice talking about what we know. And recently we've just gotten something really big or like really interesting and quite spoiling. So if you don't want to watch anything, if you don't want to know anything about the new items or what they do or the stats or what rarities there are or whatever, click off this video at this point. At this time, after this time, I'll be talking about a lot of the new content and a lot of the new items and stuff. But before this, I'm going to be talking about the remodels, submissions, and remasters and removals. So really quick before the video starts, just so that you don't get confused at any point in this video, there are multiple like gradient colors for what's changing and stuff. Let's just get started. Above here you can see item name, description, tier, type, credit, remodeler, stats, property tag 1 through 3. And this is where you'll see the stats and the items and that. So over on the left you have the item names, and as you can see here, walls are being completely remade. And I've been showing pictures and stuff on my recent videos of walls and what they'll look like. The rusty wall is being completely remade and turned into a barbed fence wall. Flooring's being redesigned, and a bunch of other stuff. But a lot of this is shop items, like infusers, which aren't exactly like the end of the world. The cursed infuser is being redone completely. It's no longer going to slow you down, but we'll talk about that in a bit. I did notice this though, the heavenly conveyor is in red. I don't know whether or not it'll be removed. I highly doubt they'd remove it. They might though. Clover Shrine is being remade. Update board isn't even in the game anymore, so that's why it's retired. Fool's Gold Mine, excellent upgrader. I did notice this. I hope to God they don't change it from a 1-stud upgrader, because it's really good. Well, it's one of the better items, and it'd be quite annoying because there are very few amounts of upgraders that are 1-stud. Loop de Loop is being removed and replaced with something, I believe. Computer, Art, Snowman, Enchants, the Chef Doge, Minata, Tinker Table, Pizza Parlor. I highly doubt they will do any major changes to the Stratospheric Refiner, but they might. They could completely remove it, which would be a shame because it's good for cannons, but that won't even matter for Third Sacrifice, because cannons are going to be gone. Stars will be the new cannon meta, even though it won't be anywhere near as fast. Hydraulic Doge, no one cares. Rainbow Path Giver, to those of you who own VIP, you will be given something else that isn't a Path Giver. Don't know what yet. Darkest Infusion, North Pole, I think that's a wall. Pandora's Box. Now, something important to note about Pandora's Box is that it's being turned into an advanced reborn, which you'll see down in a bit. And Pandora is being given a completely different superstitious to Pandora's Box. So now here you see the railgun cannon. This is being replaced with something entirely. Originally I thought that they were going to just nerf it to the ground, but it turns out they're not doing this anymore and they're just completely removing it, according to Foxy. Dragon cannons being replaced with something, and I'm pretty sure for the cannons you will be given the new items if you have them. I believe, I'm pretty sure that's the case. Same with the Pandora's Box. If you have Pandora's Box before Third Sacrifice, then when you reach Third Sacrifice, it will be turned into an advanced reborn. You will no longer have Pandora's Box, but instead have the superstitious that Pandora gets. Now, this is one of the new tiers. It's not anything to do with Third Sacrifice really. It's just to clean up your inventory with the exotics. This is the new present tier. Every single present that's in the game is going to be put into here, so it stops going into your exotic collection, so you look like you have like the biggest exotic collection in the world. So right before, alright, so this is the point where if you don't want to know about any of the new items, I wouldn't suggest watching past this point. But if you do want to, and you want to spoil yourself, then go ahead. But make sure before you leave to subscribe and like the video, because I'm just an idiot and just did that, so you know. Anyway, you have 5 seconds. Is that 5 seconds? I don't bloody know. Anyway, these are the new items. This is the new tier. This is the new section. So let's just get started. Everlast. This is all renegade items. Now they may not have the same name. They probably will. But these are all the renegade items. There may be more eventually. Don't know yet. But everlasting key. Upon rebirthing with this, any singular slipstream placed on your base, the slipstream will be made reborn proof, and that is essentially what a renegade is. And these are all reborn proof slipstreams. They will probably be weakened, so they won't be anywhere near as strong, because slipstreams are incredibly strong. Now, down here are new infusers. Some of them are planning to start doing stuff with PvP, which and the ones I'm talking about are Negation, Mending, and Curse. We don't know exactly what Slowfall will do yet, but I have my suspicions. Mending Infuser will increase life regeneration if you stand still. Now, again, I don't know whether or not I said this or not, but let me just quickly make this clear. These statistics aren't final. They are doing... This entire document is to get feedback on what people think of the items and how strong they are and what's in the update. So if you want to show any support, then leave comments of your thoughts on what items are what. So mending, yeah, mending does life regen. Negation does has a chance of blocking all damage or negating damage. The cursed infuser. This is the item that I was talking about earlier. Basically, instead of you walking incredibly slowly but jumping insanely high, instead they're completely removing that and replacing it with essentially the executive infuser, where you blow up when you die. Now, my suspicions with Slowfall, I'm guessing that will probably be like the Slowfall full stats effect on Minecraft, where you won't like go straight down instantly, you'll slowly fall, hence why it's called slow fall. This is a new catalyst. I'm guessing this is an actual catalyst for a forsaken item, which is a new tier by the way that I'll talk about in a bit. But if it isn't, then that's just some sort of decoration because it says here knowledge. Now all these trophies here are for people that make submissions for Miners Haven and actually get items in the game. So you have the Knowledge, Character, Supreme Overlord, Majesty, SCB, I don't know what SCB means, and Innovator Trophies. All of these will be given to players for making these set amount of items. This is where we get into the confusing part. There's a chessboard, a pool table, a tic-tac-toe board, soccer ball, soccer goal even though it's football where I live, roly bird ball, traffic cone, blob fox, plushie, plinko machine, and a Larry. These, I'm guessing, are all decorations. It says here that the Plinko machine is an upgrader, but that's like a mini-game sort of arcade machine thing, which could be an upgrader, but I highly doubt it would be a useful one. These will probably all have some sort of, they'll probably be like the blue tree sapling. You can just buy them and have them on your base. It would be cool to for the chessboard, the pool table, and the tic-tac-toe board to be functional, so you can actually play against your mates. But I highly doubt they'll be doing that. Same for the soccer ball, or the football ball, and the football goal. In the previous Miners Haven leak video, I talked about weather, and they've pretty much confirmed that weather is coming because of this, the new weather machine contraband. A rather complex device which seems to nullify any effect weather has on your base. This also makes you wonder where on earth is the masked man getting all of these contraptions. So essentially, if you didn't watch my last video, weather is going to be added into the game with third sacrifice or with near third sacrifice. And when it does, like when it rains and when it storms and stuff like that, effects will start to happen on your base. So when it rains, your ores will become wet. When it starts to strike lightning and thunder, it will power your lightning bolts and arcane lightnings and powered related items, not industrials, I don't believe. So stuff like that, and essentially this item stops that from happening entirely. So whether or not you want it there, it's up to you. But it is a contraband, so if you're playing the game at the very start and you don't have the contraband, it might be a bit annoying with the weather. Not entirely sure. They're also making coils, items that you can buy. I believe probably with UC, it'll probably be a UC related item. And I'm pretty sure that people that own the Martian friend will be given a completely different item from the gravity coil. Maybe like some sort of weapon or something, because it is a Martian after all. And this is where we get into a lot of the really interesting stuff, personally. Now, if you don't know, there's an item in the game currently that doesn't work at all, called the Austrialis Fornacem. And at the moment, it literally doesn't do a single thing, because it's waiting for its like brothers, pretty much. And the items that you have to pair with it are called the Austrialis Venenum, the Austrialis Rosea, and the Austrialis Ignis. Now, if you pair all of these together, keep in mind they are all decimal rarity reborns, 0.1, you will be able to get an incredibly strong furnace that will probably be one of the best furnaces in the game. And remember, there is a shiny. There's shinies for these items. If you get all 4 shinies, you make a massive shiny item, which looks so cool. It's gold, I believe. I don't know where a picture is. I would put it up on the screen, but I can't remember where the hell it is. I would like to see more of this type of stuff added, where you have to pair items together. So, Misty Megaliths, Azurian Curiosity, Shattered Medallion, Vesuvian Curse, Galatite, and all that. There's just loads. There's so many reborns. There's about 20 reborns or so. I'm not going to read all of them, but you can see what they're called. This one's quite interesting, the DUC UFO. I find curiousness in that. And Grimstruct. And Grimstruct actually has a shiny, which I wouldn't have expected. I would have thought it wouldn't have had a shiny, but it does. And I really want this blooming thing. So, if you don't know, the first video that I uploaded on Third Sacrifice, I talked about Grimstruct, the Grimstruct challenge. And there's going to be a massive amount of challenges that you will be able to complete to earn rewards and items and boxes and UC and stuff like that. And Grimstruct is essentially the starter for that. It's an advanced reborn mine that drops ores worth 1 and a coal ore, and 1 single coal ore. It will destroy any other ore that isn't its own. Ore produced by the mine cannot be replicated and maybe reset. I highly doubt they do that. And this will also prevent other mines from functioning, so you can only use Grimstruct. And this is the mine that you have to use to get a challenge done. I don't know exactly what the item is for the challenge. We do actually have the challenge items down below, but I don't know which one it is. Your ozone barrage, all this stuff. There's loads and loads of reborns. I'd like the bombastic dragon to actually be a I don't know exactly what it is, but from what I hear from bombastic dragon, I think hydraulic blaster, like a proper flying dragon, but I don't know. Aztec Battlefield. Now, actually, some of these do actually have stats, like all healthcare and Aztec Battlefield. Or healthcare will remove any stats effect inflicted on an ore so long as the ore has enough money to pay for it. So, remember when I said in one of the previous videos that I expected ore healthcare to be essentially a wild spore but better? Essentially what it is, except it requires something. And I'm guessing that the ore healthcare will remove certain effects that the wild spore and the deadly spore can't, such as that special poisonous fire. I can't remember what it's called now. The Forsaken Fire. I don't know what the stat is. It's down here somewhere. But you got the shiny or healthcare, which we saw, or well, we saw this memer put it in chat, but it wasn't actually it, which is, you know, I actually fell for it, which is nice. But you know, Aztec Battlefield. Now this item, in my opinion, doesn't seem particularly useful. In my opinion, I wouldn't use this, but this is down to preference and opinion. Essentially, it will destroy 20 ores once satisfied. It will do 10 times the upgrade to the 35th, 51st ore. Why did I say 35th? Then start all over again. So it's essentially a worse version of Delta Phantom. There's a reborn. And we've actually got a new giveaway item. This looks, in my opinion, this looks similar to the Pumpkin Hut, where there will be multiple shinies. Whether or not that's the case, I don't know. But it's the Industrial Airship. Now, this already sounds like a cool item, and I want to say it, but we can't. And it's probably going to have, apparently, it says here, probably about 6 shinies. Whether or not these are actually shinies, I don't know, but they have the same shiny things, so I'm guessing they are. And they'll be limited shinies. Now, this is where we get onto the evolved Reborns. So you'll see Hydrostorm Facility, which is the evolution towards it's the evolution of Waterworks Refiner. Forgotten Testament, I don't know what that is. Atmospheric Frigate, again, I don't know what that is. Abandoned Observatory, again. Sacred Aztec Colosseum, or Skillet Evo, and the shiny for it. And they're the evolved Reborns. We don't know much about them. Like I said, this isn't complete. The stats and items and stuff aren't done in this. So maybe over time Foxy will be adding towards it and we can give our feedback on what we think items should do, or maybe what the stats should be or something like that. And these relics or these contrabands that are being added, in my opinion, are actually really, really cool and very useful, in my opinion anyway. You've got elevators that will transport you all up and down through platforms, which we need because we currently the only way of getting things on platforms is either through like cannons, teleporters, or a really large ramp that just takes way too much time. And having an elevator will help a lot. Now, before you see Ore Booster and then see, oh yeah, speeds up or passing over it. Oh my god, they're removing Cannon Meta only to make it an item that basically removes Cannon Meta. No, it's a conveyor that goes really fast. As a contraband, it says here, no, this is not a legitimate way to Ore Boost, this is just a really fast conveyor. And probably, in my opinion, the most interesting contraband of them all, the Wi-Fi connector. From what it says here, it will, when this item is placed next to a mine, the miner that's placed next to will be converted into a remote mine. So you could make Garg Mine a remote. Whether or not that's actually the case, it would be cool to have Garg Mine as like a remote, because then you wouldn't have to constantly power Garg Core like that. But it would be pretty sick. I like this idea. I really do. It's really interesting. And I hope they stick with it, because this will be really sick. New Vintage Scented Relic. This may replace Stratospheric Refiner. May not, because that was in red. So whether or not it does or not, I don't know. Ore Turner, another contraband that will essentially be like an entry point. It will have like multiple sides and stuff like that. Basically a turn. Now this is where we get to the new tiers, like the proper new tiers, the really good items. The Forbidden Knowledge. The tome's purpose becomes clear now. If you are to face Solemn, you must understand each entry in this tome, otherwise you stand no chance. Now, Forbidden Knowledge is the book of the Forbidden Knowledge book, and it's for the new Forsaken tier. From what I believe, there aren't any actual Forsaken tier items aside from the Forbidden Knowledge, similar to how it was with Renegades. But I actually did put in the Discord saying whether or not we were going to get Renegades, and then Foxy said, "Oh yeah, it's my bad. He forgot to put them in." And if you don't know what a Forsaken item is, it's basically a Forbidden Knowledge is superstitious. It's a different tier of superstitious. It's like the higher end ones. Pandora's box. Apparently, I said earlier that Pandora's box is being replaced with a different superstitious, and this is true thanks to this here. It says here, Pandora's Box Superstitious is being entirely replaced by a new Superstitious, and Pandora's Box is being re-added as a new item. Those with Pandora's Box will automatically get the new super. So this will become an advanced reborn cell furnace, which I'm guessing will be third sack locked and maybe nerfed from the super it is. Whether or not that's the case or not, I don't know. It doesn't have stats. Now on for the Revos. These, you know what Revos are. Essentially just stronger evolutions that completely change the item. So you got All Skillet Revo, which we haven't seen yet. Ancient Colosseum Revo, which I actually want to see. That'd probably be sick. The Emperor, which has something to do with Diamond. Don't know what that is yet. Cerebus, the three-headed dog. Yes, yes. Don't know what that do. Necromantic Conjurus, we've actually already seen this, and this is the only Revo we have seen so far. Dreamer's Destruction, Dreamer's Creation, Massive Amethyst Excavator, which I'm guessing the Amethyst Excavator is some sort of fire crystal mine or Newtonian mine reversion. And then the Dreamers will, well, I mean, it's obvious what they're going to be. Dreamers items. Probably Anguish or Fright and Might. And that's pretty much the Revos that we know of. There may be more. I highly doubt there is any more because there's already quite a few of them. There's about 8 of them or so. And for an update, that's usually what they do with the new items, the new tier. So we move on to the enchants. Now, we already know a Dradonic apparatus. We don't know what it does, but we know what it looks like, and it looks pretty awesome. And it's actually going to get a shiny through giveaways. I'm guessing that's going to be giveaways because it's one of those special ones from enchants. But we are also going to be getting Atlantic Metropolis and Vosta Genetics, or Genetrix. No clue what they do, but apparently, according to Foxy, Vosta Genetics is going to be pretty cool. Apparently, if you go over to Discord, Foxy will tease the Vosta Genetics what it looks like if his comment on Vosta Genetics gets 100 dogs or so. I can't remember what it was. 100 emojis. So head over to the Discord quickly, and then so we can see this item. God's sake, we need it. We need it in life. Right, anyway. This is probably one of the more interesting items, and this is actually the item that you'll get for third sacrificing. The main item you'll get. Excelsis. It says here, you have proven yourself worthy to the most skilled and renowned warrior to ever exist. This alone will carve your name in history. No mortal or deity will forget your name. You are a legend. This is the third sacrifice item that Foxy talked about. Foxy said in one of my previous videos because I made a wrong statement. And basically, it will bless your ore with warrior spirit. And when an ore dies, instead of it dying, it will process the ore for 1 times its value, which is the exact same value as what it's worth. So it won't do anything. It'll just sell the ore, which is pretty good. It's pretty cool. Now, this effect may not work unless you have one of the other sacrifice items, the true versions. Because Foxy did say to unlock its true potential, you will need to pair it with one of the other sacrifice items. So this status effect here could be with that. The Statue of Finality, this is the item, this is the final upgraded statue. You get that for performing the third sacrifice, you get it straight away, I believe. And this is where we get onto the challenges and the private island stuff. So here you see Sporist, Void, Mars, and I think Heart of Void ultimates. These ultimates will be awarded to you if you complete a challenge on private islands. The private islands that currently are through game passes or artifacts will not count towards mastery. So if you want to complete mastery and get that item that Foxy apparently said that you might get through mastery, then don't worry, because if you don't have the game passes, you don't need them. Although executive will always be nice to get. But we don't know what these items are. We don't even know the names. They're literally just called the island's ultimate. However, these next few here are incredibly interesting in my opinion, especially the Soul Chamber and Soul Releaser. So the Chalice of Argus has actually been teased. I showed it in the last video. It was that like big glass or something. It's a chalice. And it says here, the original dreamer, the one they all idolized, perished when the nightmares overcame him. But everybody knows that death will never stop a dreamer. So, the soul chamber, ores can suffer many fates. Regardless of its fate, a dead ore will be captured by this prison, releasing it back in the world after mending the damage using soulmancy. This essentially stops ore from dying for the first time if it isn't voided, and it will put it inside of this item. And essentially, the soul releaser will release the ore, but apply the curse flame effect, which I'm pretty sure deletes the ore after a certain amount of time, which might be able to be cleansed by the ore healthcare. So when your ores are released, they will not forget the horrors they had witnessed during their short time in Tartarus. So Conqueror's Heirloom is probably going to be another challenge. An ancient relic of the Conqueror's family, passed down from Loki to his son Darkseid, then to his son, the Baron. One day this will be passed down to the Headless Horseman. I don't know what that boot is. Void. It has something to do with void stars. It says here, sometimes those patches of darkness aren't just darkness, but are void stars. The universe is a pretty terrifying place, specifically the seemingly empty places. That's an upgrade. It says here this is an upgrader, so that's gonna be cool. Now, these crown items here are uh, basically items you get for having the crowns. Now, if you don't know, and if you didn't watch the Heart of the Void or haven't completed the Heart of the Void yet, I would suggest skipping this small bit if you're interested in the lore at any point. So basically, once you complete Heart of the Void, you go through like a thing with Dagal, and he gives you his crown of joy. And it says here the crown of joy is used for something. So I'm guessing we'll eventually be taking the crowns off of the other gods or deities or whatever they are. Crown of knowledge is Magnar, as you can see here. The crown of earth is Italia, and the crown of war, it doesn't say, but I have a funny feeling that's Hendrix. Again, we don't know what it does. There's a black box here, so maybe that's changed. I don't know. I will probably end up updating you on this if it's been changed at any point within the next week or so. If it has been changed, that is. The last few things here, the final upgrader, the true final upgrader even, and the true ultimate sacrifice. It says here, despite everything you have gone through, the final upgrader still accepts you. In fact, it seems to be completely loyal to you. It has now revealed its true power to you. Beyond death, Italia will watch over you and guide you through any struggles. And Magnar was convinced you were the legend mentioned in the prophecies. You have proven the smartest entity in the universe wrong. And to show his respect, Magnar has blessed your ultimate sacrifice with extraordinary powers. And then the final item, which is one of the more interesting ones, is the Timekeeper. And this, I have a funny feeling maybe the Mastery item. I don't know. Maybe. It says here, everything I have tried, every single challenge I send your way, you only succeed stronger than ever. Why must you make my plans so much more complicated? Do you realize what you're getting involved in? I'm guessing that's Solemn speaking. And it says here, this upgrader will take the ore value of the first ore that passes through and will give that ore value to any ore that passes through after for the next 3 seconds. And once that's happened, any ore that passes through this after it's passed through, can no longer be upgraded. But that's pretty much it. There's a lot of stuff, and my throat hurts after speaking that much. Ugh. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want updates on the process of third sacrifice and even a release date or whatever happens, any sort of leaks on third sacrifice, make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on so you get notified when I upload one. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any notes or feedback on any of the items, any stats, anything you expect to see, put it in the comments and I'll probably end up reading through them to see your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Bye.